YouTube, it's Janet, and today I'm going to do my wrap up for what I've read in the last couple of weeks. If you've watched my channel, you know I've been in a bit of a slump, and so I'm going to talk about the books I've read that have helped me get out of my slump and what I did about it to get out of the slump. The first thing I did was I made a video letting everybody know I was in a slump, asking for any advice on how to get out of the slump, because I did find it incredibly frustrating. Although I do tend to get slumpy at least once a year, and it tends to follow a period where I've read loads and loads and loads, which I had. The previous couple of months I'd been reading quite a lot, and then September came and I just couldn't concentrate. I kept picking up different things and reading a bit and putting them down, and it wasn't inspiring me. And then became a little bit more frustrated because I really wanted to read things, but just nothing was doing it for me. So your advice was great, took on board, and it really has helped me get out of my slump. And so what I did firstly was accept that slumps happen to us all. It's just one of them things that sometimes you just need a bit of a break. That was fine when you just sort of allow it to happen and know that it will pass, which it has. What I also did is what you probably see in one of my previous videos, is I went book shopping. And even though I was a bit slumpy, I never ever don't want to go book shopping. And so just walking into, I went to the Waterstones at the Trafford Centre, which isn't massive, but it's moderate size. Just the smell of the books, the way everything's beautifully presented, and just went in with a little bit of a budget and just bought the books that appealed to me, which is on a haul that I've just posted recently. That really got me going. That got me excited about reading again. What I also did was I listened to an audiobook, and I listened to Nutshell by Ian McEwan. And this is a little bit of an odd book. It's actually told from the perspective of an unborn fetus inside the mother's body, and the mum has left the biological father for his brother, and the fetus obviously doesn't like this, and he is very much sort of pro his biological father, and really like just finds the new partner, the brother-in-law, quite an idiot. And the things that go on are where the mother and the uncle, who is now a partner, are living in this house which is worth quite a bit of money, but is actually sort of the brother who's been left sort of in his name or his inheritance. So they decide to kill him by poisoning. And so it's the story of how that unfolds through the eyes of the fetus. And I really enjoyed it. It was quite, it was very unique. I really like hearing the voice of the fetus. It was really a very new perspective. It was really well narrated. I actually really recommend it. I can't remember who narrated it now, but it was really, really, really good. So yeah, so that got me going. Really enjoyed listening to that because it was something I could listen to while I was doing other things. In fact, I listened to it while I was doing all my monthly data and spreadsheets at work. I just had it on in the background while I was working, and it was a really great distraction, and loved it. So that was one of the things I did. So thoroughly recommend Nutshell by Ian McEwan. Very different. The next thing I did was I read a graphic novel, and so I read Sunstone Volume 2 by Stepan Sejic. I'd read the first one quite a while back, really enjoyed it, so I want to carry on with the series. It's just getting better and better. It's the story of a lesbian couple who are exploring BDSM, but it's certainly not done in any kind of seedy way. It's done as part of a loving relationship. And so I really enjoyed it. Definitely going to carry on the series, but reading the graphic novel, it was just something short. It was something that engaged me straight away, and something I knew I could get to the end of. So that's what else I did. The next thing I did was turn to some non-fiction, and so I read The Year of Living Danishly by Helen Russell, and this is actually divided into 12 sections for each month of the year, so it was something I could very much pick up and put down and just sort of read a chunk of that was sort of a whole chapter that was like a whole little story in itself, and so there was no sort of pressure to keep reading to find out what happened next or to get engaged with it. And I really enjoyed this. It was Helen Russell and her husband moved to Denmark for a year. Her husband gets a job with Lego, and she was quite a successful magazine writer, and they decided to just give it a go and live in Denmark for a year. So it's all about her experiences of living in a new country and a new culture. It's described as topping all the polls as being the happiest nation on earth. And reading this, I don't think it's for me. It's very much regulated to the minutest detail. Things like when it snows in the winter, you have to make sure the path in front of your house is cleared throughout the daylight hours, and if it snows again during the day, it's your responsibility to clear it. And that sort of minute detail and sort of micromanaging doesn't appeal to me, together with the fact that you do pay an extortionate amount of tax, but although that does provide the absolute best in the welfare state, education is free, healthcare is free, if you lose your job you're fully supported. So there are some advantages to it, but I think the actual nitty-gritty of day-to-day life, the way it's very regimented and everybody seems to be the same, it would not be for me, because I'm certainly someone who doesn't like being told what to do. I've just got, you know, if somebody said it's black, I'll say it's white. So I really enjoyed reading it though. It was a really good book. Do recommend it. I know a few people have listened to it on audiobook and actually thought that that was really, really good too. So there's that one. And then the final thing that I did is I actually read a novel, and that was The 1 in a Million Boy by Monica Wood. And this is what I got in my book buddy box from Eleanor Reads Books. And what I really loved about this and what really helped me through is it was like sitting and reading it with Eleanor, because what she's put inside there are, as each page you go through, you might find a little note in there, or a little picture, or a little comment on what Eleanor likes. So like there's a page there with, I don't know if you can see, a little picture of a bird that was mentioned in the text. So that was lovely. It was just, I wanted to get to the next bit where Eleanor had put something in to see what she was thinking and feeling about a particular bit, or to see what little snippet she put in there. As for the book itself, it was absolutely fantastic. I'd never heard of Monica Wood before. It's set in the New England part of America, and it's all about an elderly lady called Ona, who was a Lithuanian immigrant as a child, and she's 104. And the local scout group usually come and do good deeds on a weekend, and so the boy that she sent this particular time turns out to be quite a good one, because normally they're not much used and they're not really into working. But the boy that she gets sent is a little bit of an oddity. He does things in tens. He's very interested in the birds that come to the garden, and he's also obsessed with world records. And what he wants to do is get Ona into the world record books as being the oldest person alive. So they start working on this together. And then all of a sudden one Saturday he doesn't come. And I'm not giving anything away by saying that he dies quite suddenly. And so his parents are separated, but his father feels that he has to continue with his son's obligation to see the period of time he was supposed to go and help Ona for. And then it's just about then the friendship, the grief, the cross-generational sort of respect for each other, and that, you know, age is not a barrier to doing things and enjoying things and to being a friend. And it was just so beautifully written, so heartwarming. I absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. It was just wonderful. So it was certainly an ideal one to get me back into the reading habit. And the book itself, if you just look at the end papers, they are absolutely beautiful. For my first book buddy box, it was an absolutely brilliant experience. Didn't expect anything less from Eleanor. She's got impeccable taste in books, and so yeah, I thoroughly recommended it. So that was how I got out of my slump. I'm back into reading again and enjoying it. I will be hopefully back on track with my regular video posting as well, and that means that you can expect some more regular wrap-ups and hauls, and I'll be taking part in the Book Buddy-a-thon at the end of the month as well. So bye for now, BookTube. Keep reading. Bye!